that's pretty loud. Let's turn it down. No horrorfest is gonna stream, and I'm gonna draw. I'm just gonna ramble about a few things. The move is going well. I'm gonna be fully moved in this weekend. It's a 3-day weekend, so that's where, and it's not really far from where I am now, so it's gonna be an easy move. The hardest part is gonna be moving my computer setup, but it's not gonna be that hard. It's the desk is gonna be the hardest part to move. Most importantly, in the end, no. Most importantly, I'm gonna do some Drawtober, Inktober nonsense. So let's jump right into the recap. I don't know if anyone knows this. You might not be able to tell from watching this YouTube channel, but I do like wrestling. And boy, did some dookie just go down today. Oh wow, that was loud. Some dookie went down today. For those of you that aren't familiar, AEW is like the closest thing to a rival wrestling company that the WWE has to deal with right now. They're not doing so hot though, not since their last pay-per-view, where a wrestler named CM Punk started to go into the business for himself, which is the wrestling term for being unprofessional. Because you see, wrestling's scripted. I don't know if any of you are aware wrestling's a fake. It's not. Oh, I guess it's a scripted sport. It's not a fake sport because they do real stunts. The outcomes are just predetermined. There's a lot of context I have to explain because I don't know. Wrestling is filled with big egos, and sometimes those egos will clash. And usually, you need somebody to keep them all in check. Tony Khan is having a little difficulty with that because he made 3 wrestlers executive vice presidents. What my theory is that the Young Bucks, there's the Young Bucks and there's Kenny Omega. And my theory is that the Young Bucks are friends with a guy named Colt Cabana, who used to be friends with CM Punk. And then CM Punk did a tell-all on his podcast about how shitty the WWE doctors are. And then WWE or the doctor tried to sue them. And then Punk said, I'll handle it. And then he split the bill with Colt. And instead of Colt saying, hey man, I can't afford all of this, Colt Cabana seemed to, I guess, tried to sue Punk. And then that's where their friendship ended. Instead of Colt saying, hey, can you help me out again? Because it was Punk's fault that Colt was being sued. But Colt should have trusted his friend to take care of him. So they're not friends anymore. But the Young Bucks, 2 tag team guys, and a guy named Hangman Adam Page are still friends with Colt Cabana. And I guess what I think happened is the Young Bucks got into the Hangman Adam Page's ear about nonsense, like saying, like, hey, Punk's gonna ruin this for Colt Cabana. You can't. This is my theory, because I don't think Kenny Omega was involved at all. Kenny Omega was out. I think they got in at Adam Page's ear, and that's why Adam Page cut promos that he did, implying that CM Punk is a hypocrite and doesn't stand up for workers' rights. And then Punk was confused at first. Then he got injured. Then he took like a month or like 2 months off. Then he came back. And when he came back, one of the things he did was this weird promo where he came out and called Hangman Adam Page to come out in the ring to get his rematch. And Hangman Adam Page wasn't there that night. And Punk knew that. He was just embarrassing him because he realized that Hangman was trying to shoot on him, allegedly. And then CM Punk said, make sure the apology is as loud as the disrespect. And then a bunch of, wrestling drama dropped. Hello. Hello, Weavy. Hello, Frey. I don't really like the Young Bucks. I'm fine with Kenny Omega because everything Jim Cornette criticizes him for is bullshit. The business is exposed. It's never going to be not exposed again. So there's no point in trying to pretend that wrestling isn't a scripted show anymore. Like they're suspending your disbelief, of course, but Kenny Omega wrestling a blow-up doll is not going to tarnish the reputation of pro wrestling at all. So during their pay-per-view, they have this thing called a media scrum. And on the medium scrum, CM Punk just laid it all out and started talking about his incident with Colt Cabana and all this other nonsense. And then he said, if you have a problem with me, say it to my fucking face. And so the Young Bucks went to say it to CM Punk's face. And Kenny Omega was there, I'm assuming, to mediate, because again, I don't believe he was involved in all this bullshit drama. I think it's entirely the Young Bucks and Hangman and Colt Cabana. And so they bust open the door. Kenny's like, presumably Kenny was telling them to just chill. And then shit goes down. CM Punk throws a punch. The Bucks get into a fight. Hangman grabs CM Punk's dog, Larry. I think his dog's name is Larry. Hang on. CM Punk's dog. Larry. Yes. Yeah, it is Larry. And Kenny was grabbing the dog, probably to keep it safe. Punk's mentor and former ROH tag team partner, Ace Steel, shows up. Ace Steel is a very old school man, probably fucking crazy, like old wrestlers tend to be. Bites Kenny Omega's hair. Or no, bites Kenny Omega's arm. There's a picture of Kenny Omega in Japan doing like some interview about Yakuza, and you can see bite marks in his arm. Ace Steel got fired. CM Punk got suspended. Young Bucks got suspended. Kenny Omega got suspended. Kenny Omega just went to New Japan and wrestled there, and he went to Sega and got his face captured because he's going to be in the new Yakuza game, I guess. But the new one, the new one with Ichiban and white-haired Kiryu. He's probably going to be in that one. Which isn't unusual. A lot of New Japan guys have been in Yakuza games nowadays. I am looking forward to having to fight him in the next Yakuza game. Anyways, that happened. And which brings us to a Mr. Samuel Guevara. And a Samuel, George, or Jorge Guevara. And and a man named Manuel Alfonso Andrade Oropeza, aka Andrade El Idolo, aka Andrade El Idolo Flair. Flair El Idolo, whatever. Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. Yeah. Andrade Flair El Idolo. Sammy Guevara is a high flyer wrestler. He's a young guy. He's 29. He was in Lucha Underground for a while, and he also has a YouTube channel where he just vlogs. So Andrade El Idolo was in a Mexican interview, or like a Spanish interview, and he kind of shot on Sammy for complaining because, you know, Mexican wrestlers, they like to slap people. They like to give them the chapa real hard, where they slap them on the chest real hard, and, you know, it hurts and it leaves a red mark, but it doesn't really cause any bodily harm. Sammy complained about Andrade being a little stiff when he wrestled, and Andrade kind of confronted him about it and said, "Do we have a problem?" And he said, "No." And then Andrade, down the road, like a couple of days ago, gave this interview about Sammy whining about him, and Sammy didn't take too kindly to that. I don't remember what Sammy Guevara said. However, he did imply that Sammy implied that Andrade was only where he was because he married Ric Flair's daughter Charlotte, which is not. I mean, he did marry Ric Flair's daughter Charlotte, but Andrade got to where he is on his own. Andrade wouldn't have met Charlotte if he didn't make a name for himself. Here we go. And Andrade said, "I said it to your face if you had a problem with me and you said nothing. I won't beat your ass because I'm a professional. Don't be scared. When I say something, I name names. I'm not scared to get fired," is what Andrade said. Ethan Page called Sammy Guevara the PR nightmare. Sammy's got like a history of nonsense. Oh no! Do not start up the torrents. That's gonna fuck my internet up. What's let me go check and see. Let me look through my notes and see what Sammy's done. Sammy was in hot water for making non-consent jokes 10 years ago about Miley Cyrus and Sasha Banks. Proposed to his fiance or would-be fiance on television, and then like 3 months later ended it, and is now in a relationship with an obnoxious Brazilian woman named Ty Conti or Ty Mello, depending on what she feels like being called that day. He was going to go to Impact, but he ruined that relationship because he wanted to win the X Division title and never lose it. And then Chris Jericho, famous Canadian wrestler, had to call up Impact and apologize on Sammy's behalf and mend that relationship that AEW had with Impact. He also started a fight with Eddie Kingston, and then he started a fight with Andrade El Idolo. Eddie Kingston's an indie guy. Andrade today confronts Sammy about the bullshit Sammy shoves Andrade. Andrade clocks him. At least that. Let me pull up the TMZ article now. AEW stars Sammy Guevara and Andrade were just involved in backstage altercations, sources tell TMZ Sports. Andrade has been sent home. Sources tell us words were exchanged and then things turned physical. Sammy allegedly pushed Andrade and punches were thrown. According to our sources, it's unclear if anyone was hit. People think that the guys have been in intense beef that spilled over on social media. Our sources say several wrestlers are pissed at Sammy for publicly airing personal private issues and things just boiled over at that arena. So yeah, Sammy got in each of his face and shoved Andrade, and Andrade punched him. Andrade got sent home today, and his Friday match on Rampage has been changed to like a fucking trios match. Sammy Guevara does not get punished. In fact, Sammy Guevara gets to have the main event match on Dynamite tonight. Everyone's and Sammy Guevara gets to score the pin against Garcia and Bryan Danielson. He closes out the main event on top after being the instigator for a lot of this bullshit. The crowd was pissed. A lot of people were pissed. I'm not very happy about it. The crowd, he has what they call X-Pac heat. X-Pac is a very infamous wrestler that might have wore out his gimmick. He's a good wrestler, but there's a point where his gimmick was that he would do the crotch chop, where he puts his hands over an X and just fucking humps. And he did that all the fucking time. And then he would do his other thing he would do is that he would kick people, and then he would make martial arts noises. He would kick them and he'd go Hwah! and that and a few other problems. He was just very overexposed for the type of wrestler he was, to the point where the crowd just fucking hated him. And it wasn't like, oh, you're a bad guy, you're doing your job. No, they just wanted him to stop. They just wanted him to stop wrestling. He's in a better place now. X-Pac is actually a very beloved person nowadays. But Sammy Guevara is currently in that state of X-Pac heat. The crowd hated him. They were chanting, "Fuck you, Sammy," and "You still suck." And then they started chanting Andrade's name. And then he won. When he won, there was no boos. The crowd was completely fucking silent. They were stunned that Tony Khan let this bullshit happen. You would say Andrade was doing a lot better before he married Charlotte? I don't know about that. I mean, Ric Flair's royalty, practically. I mean, he does have alimonies to pay off, but it's good to marry. It's a net win for a luchador to marry into the Flair family. Just like it would be a net win for somebody to marry into the Guerrero family. It would not be a win for somebody to marry into the Dos Caras family, like Paige. Because I believe Alberto Del Rio ruined his family's name. All right, let me draw something. What do we got here? So yeah, that's how that stuff went down. The crowd was furious. Let me look up some choice things on Twitter. Oh, that's right. Sammy's got a blog. He posted a blog that one day ago. I wonder what it's about.
Are not going to the airport alone today. We're bringing these guys. Hey, buddy. You ready?
Also, you didn't shower, so I'm helping you out.
Oh, fuck.
I have not had this in months.
It's been a long time.
I appreciate you giving it back. And like I said, how can I be mad at you still when you made me the best man in the world?
Exactly.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
So it's
What I suspect happened is Fuego del Sol, Sammy's friend and just habitual jobber. I feel like he might have been the one. He got punished in Sammy's place, and they had Luchasaurus beat the shit out of him.
It's time, dude. It's time we get back to doing what we've always done.
In case anyone's ever wondering, like, what do I have to do to be a professional wrestler when I grow up?
House?
Yeah, I don't know what to call it. I was gonna say hotel.
Elbow and vice versa. Just do that. Be up, home,
Today we're going back to TV, and so tomorrow's Dynamite as I'm recording this. Got a big match. Someone found one of my old vlogs, and I had like Daniel Bryan holding up both the world titles at the Mania that he won them at. That's just how crazy life is, you know? That was 5 years ago, and now I'm about to go and beat his ass tomorrow. It was a fun trip, though. I feel like I definitely needed it. There's just so much drama that goes on in wrestling. It's really exhausting. It's tiring. Seems like every couple weeks there's something. I'm minding my own business on vacation.
Oh my god! Sammy! This motherfucker's a liar!
And then, you know, people want to start drama with me.
Oh my god! Oh, Jesus. I can't believe it. Sammy's just fucking talking nonsense. You didn't say shit to me, you liar, but here's some truth, you ungrateful prick. You would be jobless if it wasn't for your dad-in-law. Are you really mad at me or mad at yourself for failing to get over for a second time? Just go back to WWE like we all know you want to do and fuck off. Is what Sammy said to Andrade. Somebody posted a picture of Triple H on the phone, and it's a GIF, and he's like, "Listen, kid, you just gotta call out the stupidest fuck in the locker room." And Andrade goes, "Sammy, yeah, sure." When he inevitably responds, show up to work, mix it up with them a little bit, and they'll have to cut you. I'll see you on Monday, amigo. And then someone said he'll be a lower mid carder at best in the E. If you're gonna be a mid carder in both companies, might as well do it at the one your wife also works at. So yeah, that's all the drama coming on in wrestling. No one's happy. It's unbelievable. Everyone's pissed off at Sammy. Also, some people are starting some nonsense about Which from Mercury, and it's people. It is actually people on both sides that are just being obnoxious. The new Gundam. Like people need to chill. Gundams has always been like a heavily. It's always talked about political stuff, which is that's true, but it was never like obnoxious about it like Western comics are. And I hope that it never will be like that, because that would be really disappointing if Gundam ever got to be as bad as like Western comics. It would certainly make me sad. Like, because you got people that are like, oh no, gatekeep Gundam, and it's like Gundam will gatekeep itself. You've got people, the people that the tourists are not going to want to stick around in a franchise that tells you to treat the space fascists as people and make them third dimensional characters and give them emotional depth and all that shit. They want their space fascists to just be very black and white evil so that they can fantasize about punching them in the face. And Gundam doesn't do that. And sometimes Gundam decides to make the good guys become the space fascists. They've done it twice. So those people will leave. Gundam more like gay bum. Yeah, I mean there is a lot of homoeroticism in Gundam. There's no one's really like there might be some people denying it, but it's homoeroticism, not blatant homosexuality. Yeah, no, there's shit, there's lecturing shit, and they think that's the same as like Star Trek or Gundam, where it's not preachy and lectury. It's just that's how it is. Like, yeah, you can the best thing you can do is you can compare Star Trek TNG with Star Trek Picard, and that's the difference. Star Trek Picard is garbage. I need to wipe my screen off. Yeah, the people that would talk like that, Wheezy, would make great members of the Titan organization. but the people stressing out that now because Gundam has a woman protagonist, like those people are dumb too. Like Tamino's wanted a woman protagonist in Gundam for like a long time now. Not for like, you know, like, oh, girl power or women needing to be represented, because the women, there's always been a built-in woman audience. They love, like, the unfortunate reality is a lot of the fucking gay shipping has kept in combination with Gunpla has kept the fandom alive, but because of that, there was never a need for a female protagonist. But Tamino's wanted a female protagonist at some point just to have like a different perspective, because it's always like a young teenage boy and watching them suffer in a war, and you know, just to change things up a bit, why not have like show what happens when a young girl gets caught up in a war and has to pilot a murder robot and start killing people? Like, how does she handle that? And you know, we might actually get to see that in Witch from Mercury. She already has a body count. However, for the time being, Witch from Mercury just seems to be blatantly ripping off Revolutionary Girl Utena, which is fine. If you're gonna rip something off, if you're gonna rip any sort of like girls' love thing off, make it Utena, the best of the girls' love genre. The guy who, I think the showrunner actually worked on the novelization of Utena. You should watch Gundam. Most of it's really good. Just don't watch Seed. You don't need to watch Gundam Seed. Gundam Seed's trash. Absolute garbage. Where is my pen? But yeah, no, like I'm fine with a lesbian Gundam protagonist because that's what they've been trying to do that before it was trendy to do that. So you know that they have pure intent. They have good intent. They're not just trying to be controversial or antagonistic. They're just trying to do something that they've been trying to do for years. Oh, well, have a good night, Weezy.
Yes, fuck you.
I'm not like the biggest fan of Yuri, but Utena is a step above what I consider standard Yuri. And with what's funny is a guy wrote Utena. He understands. He writes Yuri better than a lot of women write Yuri. Like every single like Western cartoon that was inspired by Utena was written by a woman, and in my opinion is kind of like bombed. Like I think Steven Universe is a flop, and it was written by a woman, or at least a non-binary woman. Oh yeah, no, people bitching about like owning the judge of the libs. They just need to chill out. Gundam is such a complicated. The politics are so complicated in Gundam that, like, if you're not willing to fucking absorb them, and you're just gonna be like, well, why can't you're gonna get mad because the show because like as you watch the show you realize that that Zeon were actually being oppressed by the Federation, and unfortunately when trying to stand up for themselves they got hijacked by like Space Hitler, and then he and his family dropped a colony on the Earth, and then they, you know, that was the point of no return. But people just want to assume that like just because you're using Nazi imagery. I don't know what Valkyrie Drive is. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, like just because you use that kind of imagery that they're gonna be just, you know, racist or anti-Semitic when no, They just wanted their rights. They actually wanted their equal rights, and the Federation were oppressing them. I mean, I don't mind super lewd sometimes. Edge Runner was kind of lewd, but I liked it. But like when it comes to Cyberpunk, you gotta have that kind of fucking lewd shit. It just it's not the same. It was, I had the same issue with like whenever they decided to cover up the women in Mortal Kombat. It's like, no, like Mortal Kombat's supposed to be fucking violent and exploitive, and like you covering up is like spitting in the face of everything you stood for when you first came out in the 90s. Let's live here. You want to sand everything down to make things not problematic or not? Yeah, they're obnoxious. Ugh. I need to change my stat. Um. The fuck? Yeah, have a good night, Wheezy. Enhance Discord stream kit. What the fuck is that? Oh, Faz is playing too. Shoutouts to Faz. Wait, what was the fucking OC Tober prompt? Strongest. I do have this. Oh, music's. Let's put on some fucking. I didn't realize I can't believe the first one I picked was Maximilian Dude's like fucking outro. Alright, let me check something. I didn't realize that. I don't know. It's so weird. I feel like Street Fighter EX is finding like a resurgence. Like people used to not like it, but now they've warmed up to it over the years. Bum 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 bum. Oh. You're surprised Sammy was I'm not only am I surprised that Sammy was still in the main event, I'm surprised that he won the match. That's unbelievable. I don't think that would ever happen in any other company. Like, I don't know what the fuck. Oh, well, thank you, Lucy. Yes, it is a big guy. Hmm.
Obama. Obama.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to click that. I wasn't thinking about it when I clicked it. Oh, shit. I have no idea where I was going with this. I'll try and come up with something better tomorrow, maybe. I had something, I just forgot where I was going with it. That's fine. I did stream and I did some drawing. That's the important thing. Maybe I will ink something real quick and upload that probably by tomorrow. I have a video ready to go tomorrow and Friday, and I'll probably upload a few more videos for the 3-day weekend because I don't think I'm going to be like around much during this weekend because of moving. But thank you for joining if you did. Have a good rest of your week. Have a good weekend. Have a good 3-day weekend if you got it. Peace.